Hi guys, it's Amy and you have found Amy Loves Crochet. I want to thank you so very much for clicking on any of my videos. I really do appreciate your time. I've got a couple of finished projects here. Not really a big deal, but I got them finished, so that's a win, right? um, and then I've got another project to share with you, which I'm really excited about, and I didn't see on my radar, and then it just happened, and it's super, super exciting for me. So first of all, from the thumbnail, as you could see, this is a project that I did a little while ago. I worked up some baby blanket yarn. This is kind of a mint color. This is a corner to corner, and it's just got a real simple double crochet border on it. And so I had been working up, I don't know if you remember in the past, you might have seen that I worked on some little snuggly sweet loves for, they kind of started out these Snuggle Slugs, and I made some changes. I made one of those and then I made some changes and stuff. And so anyway, this one was one that was just sitting on the back burner for a very, very long time. So you can see that I kind of make it a little bit easier on myself, just make a little square eyeballs that come up here. And I just did a very, very simple face. My grandchildren, my granddaughter is 5 and my grandson is a year and a half. And everything that one of them has, the other one wants. And then they'll put that toy down and play with something else. And then that one wants that one. And so they're constantly fighting over all of the stuffies that I've made. And so I didn't want to do like a really like eyelashes or little sweet little face like it was a girl. Like I don't know. I'm trying to make one like specifically for Michael since my little girlfriend takes all this stuff from him. So I don't know. I just made a very, very, very simple face on it. I initially maybe made this to be like a gift set for somebody, and I might still do that. But just a very, very simple little snuggly face and a blanket. So this has been sitting on my to-do table for quite some time. The face is just give me grief. I know that I've said that before, and a lot of people have trouble making faces. But I'll link my video that I made all my little snugglies down below so that you can see all the different faces that I put on them and all the different good stuff that you can do with them. And then as well, I'll put the link for the original Snuggle Slug video. The next thing that I went ahead and finished that I want to report in to you is, if you saw a couple weeks ago, I made up a bunch of these cats from a certain video and I had not put on a face yet. All the other ones that I was making, I did embroidery face. And so this one's got like the little white eyes. And so I wanted to make baby friendly goodies here. And so I didn't use safety eyes. I just embroidered those eyes on, those ones. And then I had made a couple of these, and so I did want to try using the safety eyes. So that's what these are, the little plastic safety eyes. And then I didn't finish the face for a real long time. So one of the things that I ran into is I used the same color, this brown color. This is Snugs and Kisses by Baby Bee at Hobby Lobby. It's a 5-weight yarn, and some of the Amigurumi eyes embroidery type videos that I was watching had you do like a little kind of same color but do like a little eyebrow thing on the eye, and it was really funny because it just looked weird. It just looked sad, and I started pulling on them and trying to put them in different, facial expressions and stuff. I was having fun playing with that, but I didn't know how to continue making the face with that weirdness going on about the eyes. So I actually was able to just stuff, you can see a little bit of the edge right here. I was able to just actually stuff that into the head and get rid of that weird like eyebrow thing. Like here's a little bit remnant of that. And then go ahead and put the face on there so that one can be finished. I don't want to give it to the kids quite yet because it's got the safety eyes. So this one might stay up in my stuff. Anytime I do safety eyes yet, well, that's not a true statement. I did some safety eyes on my brontosauruses and I didn't intend for them to play with them, but then she took them. So they are playing with them. But anyway, I thought about hanging on to this one because I've made so many for them. And so I kind of want to keep some stuff for my own. And so one of the things that I was kind of looking into, or, embroidering the face has just been such a difficult thing for me. I just can't seem to get it right. Sometimes it works, but then I can't replicate it for the second eye. So then I'm always like wonky on one side. So our viewer here, Marie, sent me a link for some other type of eyes that you actually just crochet the whole eye and then attach it. Now I did that with my Niles the crocodile. He's got just a disc of black yarn that I did. I don't know how many, if I did 2 rounds of that or whatever. So he's got just yarn disc eyes. And so that was kind of the same idea with these. But these, and I didn't even follow the way that the video was saying to do it. And I'll tell you why. So she's showing you, and I'll link this down below in case it works for one of you guys. Maybe it will work for you. But I just didn't find that it was working for me. So she takes the eye and she's got the black part going. And then you put whatever color of the eye you want down here, lots of different colors. I went with kind of like a pale blue here. And this very last row right here is supposed to be in white. And I just was not feeling that at all. So I continued on with the blue eye that I was doing. And then she goes from here with that white and then like comes up and does a little glint in your eye, that little sparkle in that little top little white dot thing. And I wasn't feeling it. I wanted so badly to try a new thing and it just wasn't working. I did make 2 and I did kind of hold them in place on the item I'm about to show you, and it just wasn't working. So I think what I did works very, very well, and I'm super, super excited about it. So you know how I overwhelm myself with excitement and I blah, blah, blah. Okay. Please do not come for me. I have learned a lot since this first item. I'm going to show you this first item, and it is ghastly. It is nothing to write home about. Like, I'm kind of embarrassed to show you, but I am always honest with you, and I always share everything with you guys. So this is the first of these that I made. What we are talking about came from this One Skein Wonder book that I've used 100 million times. See, here's Niles the crocodile right there. And he had safety eyes. So that was kind of me going out on a limb and make those crochet disc eyes. So anyway, so in here is a project that is meant to be made with worsted weight yarn. That's what category of the book it's in the worsted weight, 4-weight. And so I made this for my grandson. It is called Lucky Dog, and it is the cutest, sweetest little pattern ever. You make these big floppy ears and then his legs and a little tail. You can see the stuffing is coming out. This is why I said don't come for me. You can see how big the holes are. I used like a 5mm crochet hook with a worsted weight yarn like normal, but clearly with Amigurumi you have to use a much smaller hook than you would naturally with that yarn. So I thought it was just a really, really fun, like, here's his sad little eyes. I didn't even do anything special with his eyes. And I thought his neck was kind of wonky and just kind of plain, just him like that. So I made a little collar that's not part of the project. And this was cotton painterly, I do believe. So the color changing in the yarn gave us this kind of minty color, and then kind of like this more blue. And then this one's a little bit more green than the blue, but it's still not the mint. So, I was kind of using scraps to make this up. In addition, the yarn that is used in the book is sort of like a brown variegated. And I don't believe in the book that he needs anything of a nose. Like the coloring, the way the book shows his nose, the variegation of the color just looks like a little nose, and it's really cute. But to me, he's missing something here. I just felt like I don't see a mouth. I don't see anything but his schnoz. Like, I don't see his nose at all. So, yeah, this is one of the sweetest things in my world when I see my, baby grandchild grab a hold of my things that I've made for them specifically. I love that. So he's getting a little bit lopsy. He doesn't have a whole lot of sturdiness to him. He doesn't like really sit good. Maybe Maybe he does. He fell over. So a long time ago, I gave this to my grandson, and my granddaughter was like, I want one, I want one, I want one. And this was really difficult for me. Like, I went out of my comfort zone to make this, and it took a lot to get, once you make the feet and the tail and the arms and the ears all separate, and then got to sew them on. And, you know, those of us that are a little bit, scared or whatever of doing amigurumi, like all of those, sewing on all those pieces, really, making them symmetrical and stuff can really be a difficult part for you. For me, it's very a difficult part for me. So I remember asking her, I looked up online because I didn't want to make her the same thing. And I thought maybe, once I made one, I could maybe look into other styles and kind of make a different one and get her something different. And that never came about. So her birthday was back in January. That's when I made a bunch of the cats and some other little dragons and things. I'll list that video down below, of all the little plushies I made. And so anyway, so I gave her the cat, and she said, I want one with legs. And I kept thinking, like, what is she talking about, one with legs? So I dug deep into the recesses of my memory and recalled that when I gave this to Michael, I asked Astrid if I went online and got some different pictures of different stuffies. And I was asking her, do you want one like this? Do you want one like this? And I remember thinking, like, one that just sits, or do you want one with legs? And so this was like over a year ago when I gave Michael this, like before he was born, I think I made it. And then Astrid's birthday was just in January. So when I gave her that and she said she wanted the legs, I was like, what is she talking about? And then I recalled she wanted the legs. So I told you all that I didn't have, I'm stuck on using this blanket or this 5 or 6 weight yarn that's plushy instead of using just the worsted weight. I wanted to stick with making these plushies. And I told you guys that I didn't have a plushie pattern for something like this. So it clicked like a light bulb. I made this pattern with the plushie yarn. So obviously it's going to be so much bigger. And it's kind of funny to me because I still use the 5mm hook, the same 5mm hook that I think I used on that one. Maybe I used it a little bit smaller on it. I don't remember right now, but clearly I needed to use a smaller hook for this one. So in using the blanket yarn, this plushie yarn, this 5 or 6, I can't remember if it's a 5 or a 6. I think it's a 6. I made another lucky dog. So this one is Astrid's. It feels like it's ginormous in size comparison. She wanted the pink and the purple, so I got the pink and the purple out. I worked on, when I was working the head up, I'm like, oh my God, this thing is just giant. It was so funny to me. But then I was stuck on doing the eyes, and this is where Marie's suggestion for this eye came in. And I was like, it's just huge. I don't know that I'm going to use that. I didn't like the way that was looking. So I searched this. I worked on this one yesterday. We got the little white that comes down the side, and then a little glint in the top, and a little bit of eyelash there. And so again, they don't look symmetrical, but if you look at either one by themselves, they look okay. And this is just like, kids grab the, I know my grandson does, definitely grabs the, what's it called? The label on a blanket. It tells you how to wash, the washing instructions and stuff. And they just, rub it between their fingers or whatever. These big giant ears are just fantastic. Speaking of dogs, I need to go let my dogs in. Hold on. All right. It actually started raining and I didn't realize it. Sorry, dogs. So anyway, yeah, I got her all made up, and she's super cute. I feel like snuggling with her all the time when I'm holding on to her. I think I'm going to give her like a little bling bling necklace or collar. Maybe like the little shawlettes that I wear. Maybe I'll make one for her. But yeah, I thought this was, initially I had said to you that I didn't have a pattern for her, but duh, why can't you just work the same pattern in a different hook? different yarn and hook size. So definitely thought that she needed a nose. I just kind of winged it on sewing a nose on there, kind of tried to go in a little bit of a triangle shape. And her eyes I thought her eyes were super cute. Like that was a good one for me to find. But again, and then you've got like little girly eyelashes on your stuffy, and what if it is for a boy instead? So I think that I could not be happier with myself with the way that this turned out, and I can't believe I didn't think that I could have made that to begin with. Like, why not just go for it and see what happens? So that was my project that I've got completed for this week to share with you. I showed you some gauges that I was making up with some Malabrigo Rios yarn in a Niebla color. If you're familiar with that colorway, it's a really, really pretty sort of browns and then like this grayish purple that runs through it. So it's very, very pretty. So I have that project going that I'm super excited about. I told you about last week. And I had 4 skeins that I thought was going to kind of cut it close. And one of the skeins, the browns in it are very different than the other 3 skeins. I thought the other 3 were pretty similar to each other, but when I started using that 4th skein with it, it just threw my eye off completely. And I don't know that I'm going to have enough. So it was going to be stretching it with a color that I didn't think that it was close enough. It was catching my eye way too much. So I had bought that yarn at Seven Sisters, so I called over there to see if they had any more, and they did not. I was able to find some online, so I bought another 2 skeins of it that should be here on Wednesday, and we'll see if that colorway is better, or if I just have more of a colorway that's off from the original, like it'll work out now because I have plenty. I don't know. We'll see how that goes, but I'm still super excited about it, so that hasn't changed at all. The other thing that I was going to tell you about, I started looking up fiber events in my area because I'm kind of getting excited about the season starting or whatever. And the first one on the calendar of fiber events near me is one it's about a 4.5 hour drive one way. It's in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, called Eureka Fiber in the Ozarks. And that's March 19th through the 21st. I'd like to go to it, but I say that every year. It's a really big drive. So, and we've got a big vacation drive planned the next weekend for my birthday. So I don't know that one's going to happen this year. I'd like it to, but it's just the timing is not right. The next one is one I've been to before at the Monroe County Fairgrounds in Waterloo, Illinois. I enjoyed that very much, and the date is still to be determined. So I'm going to keep that on my radar and see when that is. And then, of course, here in St. Louis, we've got the Midwest Fiber Fest, April the 24th through the 26th, which I'm very, very excited about. And then there's something in Maryland Heights, Missouri, which is also very, very close to me. It's called the Fair Isle Extravaganza, and I think that it's more just classes. I don't know that it's like an event where you walk around and buy stuff from vendors like other. So I don't know that that's even going to be on my calendar at all. And then there's Fiber U in Lebanon, Missouri, in July the 18th and the 19th. I've been there before, and so I don't know if I'll go to it again or not, but it's here this year. And then the Lake Area Fiber Arts Festival in Camdenton in October. So, we've got a little bit of spring, we've got one in the summertime, and then we jump way to October. So there's not a whole lot going on. But I've been to Camdenton before. I like that event as well. And then the one that I took my husband to last year, I went the year before by myself. It's called the Ozark Fiber Fling in Steelville. So that is, it just says 2026. Last year it was in November. So we'll see, I think November. So we'll see when that comes out. So just looking ahead on the calendar to see what I've got maybe on my radar. And then my birthday weekend is in the end of March. We're going to Kansas City for a Comic-Con. In case you didn't hear me say that already in a previous video, I am beyond excited, beyond excited. And they continue to add new people that are going to be there, celebrities or whatever. So we've got Lord of the Rings, Frodo and Samwise are going to be there. They just continue to add people. So I'm really, really excited to see how many celebrities or, sci-fi people or rock people, the main reason that caught our eye to go to this Comic-Con is because the Iron Maiden lead singer Bruce Dickinson and their drummer Nico are going to be there, and my husband, it's all about that. So super, super excited, looking forward to that. And the last thing I have to share with you is that I've got a secret shawl project coming up that I'm not going to be the only one involved with. So if you enjoy those sort of cross collaboration type things, stay tuned for a little more information about that. All right, guys, that's what I've got for my video for you today. I hope you're all doing well. Have a wonderfully blessed day, and I do hope you'll come back and see me again. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.